I'm a mean motherfucker, I was born that way. And just because I wear a skirt, don't think I'm fucking gay, 'cause I'm an evil Scotsman. And Jimmy is my name. I was born that way. And just because I wear a skirt, don't think I'm fucking
Previews. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you're all well. This is just another stream. As you all know, I haven't been 100% lately, so I just saw this and it irritated me, so it was time for a stream, I thought. Basically, I am subscribed to the SNP, but it's getting more and more that I don't agree with things that they're saying, the things that they're sharing, especially on the social media. This was the latest thing that came up. UK government is making women prove that they were raped to receive child benefits. Now at this point I was thinking to myself, what's going on here? I mean, I'm a single father, I've got to be able to claim benefits myself. So, time to go and have a dig. So I assume by the way that everybody was talking about this, from today, women will need to prove their child was conceived as a result of rape, just in order to claim tax credits. Now again, I personally claim tax credits because if I didn't claim tax credits I wouldn't be able to keep my kids. They have this really strange tendency to want to eat like 3 times a day. So child tax credits really does help with that sort of thing. And like I say, this really confused me. It was something that I hadn't heard anything about. Usually there's going to be a change to any benefits, you're informed. So I went looking into it, and I found it to be just deceptive. Now, while I don't agree with the plan, the plan basically by the Tories was that from now on, if you have more than 2 children, you will only receive tax credits for your first 2 children. That's the rule that they've put into play. But they have added in a loophole. So, if women are raped and become pregnant, if it's their 3rd child, they can still claim tax credits because it's an unplanned pregnancy that they couldn't foresee. Now, to me this is rather strange because it seems to be saying to everybody else, you have 2 children and that's your lot. If you have more than 2 children, you don't get any extra benefits, you just have to make do. Whereas this gives people who were raped the opportunity to say, yeah, we'll give you extra money because this was something that you couldn't have planned for. And I find it really quite confusing the way that politics are going these days. I mean, it's really quite bad, especially with things like Donald Trump, for example. He's a primary example that I could give to most people, where basically Donald Trump does so many bogus things. Why did you need to make up stories about renting prostitutes to do golden showers on Russian beds? You know, just if people were to actually concentrate on what he actually does, wouldn't be much of a problem. You'll have to forgive me, I'm still having problems with my breathing, so I do get breathless. This is one of the reasons why I am actually looking into, for anybody who may be interested, I'm looking at starting a podcast with a friend of mine who's looking to get set up so that we could both do basically a shooting the shit podcast, anything that comes to mind. But back to the subject at hand, as it says here, changes to the benefit limiting the first 2 children came into force this morning. So basically what this is the government's putting a cap on benefits to say anybody who has 2 children, if you have any more, that's your choice, but you won't receive extra funding. Now this sort of thing here, the move has been described as immoral and unworkable by the SNP. Now, perhaps it's my personal morality, but I can't see how this would be seen as immoral. I would actually see it as very moral, because for everybody else it could be condom broke, whatever. An unplanned pregnancy comes up for anybody else who doesn't want to terminate the pregnancy, they can go to the government will just say to them, well, I'm very sorry, but the rules are clear, you have 2 children, this will be your 3rd, so you're not getting any additional benefits. Whereas, under this it says, third child due to rape. So, I don't know why this has been seen as immoral when everybody else has to deal with it, except for rape victims, which is fair enough. If a woman gets raped, I'm not exactly supporting that. There is a lot of talk about this 8-page document that they have to fill in, which I think this is an example of. Now, as far as I'm concerned, an 8-page document is rather excessive, because as far as I'm concerned, single sheet should do the job, because all that they would need is the woman's name, national insurance number, and at least a CI number, which is a criminal investigation number if I remember correctly, to say that rape has been reported, and possibility something from a medical professional to say that it was rape. Basically it has to be proved. It's the same thing that people keep jumping up and down about with the likes of immigration to me, where we need to help these poor immigrants. Why does it fall on the responsibility of Europe to help the immigrants when the likes of Saudi Arabia has fully stocked refugee camps that these refugees don't want to go to, they want to go to Europe? So that to me says more than anything else. Now let's see, on top of that, mothers must provide supporting evidence, a declaration from a doctor, social worker or healthcare professional from a sexual support referral centre. Now again, like I say, yeah, I could definitely see why that would have to be the case. Now, a doctor, I mean, to me it's just common sense that if a woman's been raped, she'll want to do several things, STD tests, obviously pregnancy test. If it's come back positive, there is going to be a doctor in the chain there somewhere that has said, I've examined you, you have been raped, we've taken the evidence, blah blah blah. Not sure about social worker. But again, I mean, it comes down to evidence, because the alternative to this would be that women will get pregnant and go, oh, I'm going to have another mouth to feed, but no extra money. So what I'll do is I'll tell the government that I was raped, and if there was no situation in place to say you need evidence, then that would just be where it would be left to lay. And this whole thing about list and believe doesn't work. The unfortunate thing is that if it was a perfect world and a perfect society, then yeah, listen and believe would work, because if something happened, then you'd be able to take people's word for it. But you can't take people's word for it. The unfortunate thing is people will lie to save themselves money on milk, you know. Victims are required to sign a declaration reading, I believe the non-consensual conception exemption applies to my child. Well, yeah. What's the problem with that? It's basically the same as any other perjury example which says I'm signing this declaration, and if it's wrong, then I'm opening myself up to perjury. They must fill in the child's name and sign again to confirm that they are not living with the child's other parents. That one, yeah, that's... I mean, obviously, if you're going to be claiming benefits for a child, they're not going to be living with the other child's parents. And if the other parent is a rapist, then he should be in prison, not in a situation where he's able to take the child. MP Alison Thulis has been campaigning against the rape clause, which she's described as scandalous. Now this one really quite irritates me, because as it stands, in my opinion, if this was to be any other sort of situation where it was a rape case, if this sort of clause was left out, then there would be people jumping up and down saying, well, what if a woman gets raped and accidentally has a third child? what are you going to implement for them? Well, they've jumped the gun here, they've implemented it. So why are you jumping up and down saying that this is scandalous? Launching a poster campaign in opposition to the clause today, she found, from today women will need to prove their child was conceived as a result of rape, just in order to claim tax credits. It is one of the most appalling, disgraceful and demeaning policies ever to emanate from Whitehall, and should never have seen the light of day, let alone the statute books. As it's written there, anybody with a brain and a conscience would agree. If this was quite simply a case of you have to be raped to claim any benefits, then yeah, that would be disgusting, it would be appalling. And as it shows in the image here, the UK government is making women prove that they were raped to receive child tax credits. I'm sorry, but this is actually one that should stay. This whole campaign is deceptive in my opinion, and the SNP need to really stop doing things like this. The UK government is making women prove that they were raped to receive child tax credits. That's not true. They are making some women prove that they were raped to receive tax credits that otherwise they wouldn't be entitled to. Basically, they've left a loophole for people who couldn't have predicted themselves being in this circumstance, that aren't able to adopt out the child, to terminate the pregnancy, which is their choice, it's their right. But the bottom line is that child then needs to be fed, clothed and cared for. Now that's probably going to be extra difficult for that woman, and if she's strong enough to take on the task, I applaud her for that. I don't think I could do it, but that's possibly just personal opinion. But again, this sort of thing it's really pushing it with the SNP. I mean, I can remember before the SNP were looking into things like they had a big thing all over their Facebook page saying that they were 79% of people in Scotland wanted to ban hate speech. Which, I'm sorry, but you can't ban hate speech. Hate speech is free speech. It's the same with this whole Marcus Meacham case. Anybody who hasn't heard of this guy, the guy's name on YouTube is Count Dankula. Really funny guy, he's got a comedy channel. And he made a video basically saying that he was going to turn his dog into a Nazi because his girlfriend would get really pissed off. He has since released that video. The video went viral. He has been charged by the Scottish Police Force. He is awaiting trial from my understanding, and the Scottish Police Force, from what I've saw from update videos that he's put on his channel, basically they're trying to say that the guy, his intent wasn't clear. But right at the beginning of the video, he quite clearly says, I'm making this video to piss off my girlfriend. And then there was some controversy about some jokes that he'd made. Unfortunately, the Scottish press got involved with that one, and as we all know from the Crossbow channel debacle lately, the press can be rather unscrupulous at times. So he had put up a post after he'd released the video saying that his girlfriend was raging and he was having to escape the country. Now, as it actually stood, the guy had a pre-planned holiday to Iceland. So he went on holiday to Iceland. He wasn't trying to escape the country. He discovered that the police wanted to speak to him, told him when he would be back, and came back to speak to them when they arrested him. As I say, I mean, this political correctness gone excessively wrong. So yeah, I mean, that was my 2 cents. Again, I'm going to bring to light the fact that I am with a friend looking into starting a possible podcast. Things are a bit shaky just now because of my illness, so I may not be able, but hopefully the next one isn't going to be something like a war between Russia and the US, as may possibly happen, because from the looks of it, Trump's going to go against his campaign and drag the US into a war which nobody wanted. But that'll be a conversation for another time. So thank you very much for listening, guys. I hope you're all well, and I'll speak to you all soon. Good night.
way. And just because I wear a skirt, don't think I'm fucking